Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Mickey Reads the News, a mostly daily reading of local, regional, and national news reported and published by the Denver Post, the voice of the Rocky Mountain Empire. I'm your host, Mickey, and today's Friday, April 30th, almost May. I don't know if there is an April tomorrow or if it's May 1st. But it's Friday. It's going to be a nice warm one for a change. Reported to be, or predicted to be, 79 degrees. And the low for the day should have already happened, 52 degrees. We got a number of stories on the front page. As always, I'm going to start with the photograph. I really am a fan of Denver Post photographers. This one is somewhat of a plain picture. It has to do with poverty and family welfare. It is of a young mother. I'm going to guess she's around 27 or 28. Blonde hair, holding an infant who's probably less than a year old. Of course, she's in a sleeveless dress, brandishing a big tattoo on her arm, which at one point in time used to identify people as mostly non-productive members of society, but that's changing now. And the caption under the picture says, Robin Boyles holds her daughter, Summer. Remember, vote for me and it's always Summer. Napoleon Dynamite. Summer at their home in Longmont on April 21st. Boyles and her husband, both cooks, were put out of work by the pandemic and would benefit from an expanding child tax credit, a goal of U.S. Senator Michael Bennet, shown at the top. I'm going to start with that story because I am a fan of Michael Bennet. The headline is Michael Bennet's Legacy Moment. The reason I'm a fan of him is I've been following him for a while, ever since, well, he's our, first of all, he's our United States Senator, one of two. And I learned about his history on a podcast a long time ago, where at one time he was the superintendent of Denver schools, which were in a pitiful state when he took it over. And I forget how long he was in that position, but I'm going to say 8 years, maybe 12. But he's credited with turning it around and making it an outstanding or really good school system, although it has weathered a little bit since then. And I have also heard him speak and articulate on some of his ideas, and I think he is smart. I think he's articulate, as I said a minute ago, and I also think he is reasonable and shows common sense in trying to get things done. So we're going to start with this story on Michael Bennet. Again, let me repeat the title, Michael Bennet's Legacy Moment, and the subtitle is Colorado U.S. Senator Helps Create Major Anti-Poverty Program. This is by Justin Wingerter, a prominent reporter for the Denver Post. Let's see what Justin has to say. Robin Boyles and her husband were restaurant cooks before the whole world changed in March 2020. First came unemployment, then came pregnancy. Wait a minute, I think that's supposed to go. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes summer and a baby carriage. Well, that's not what Justin wrote. First came unemployment, then came pregnancy, a miracle the Boyles had been waiting for but were now terrified by, and then the diagnosis, COVID-19. Yeah, that's not the way it goes. It was horrible, she said. I have never been so sick in my life, she recalled. I actually was sent to the hospital because I couldn't breathe. I can't tell you how frightening that was, not knowing if I would be okay or how it would affect my unborn baby. She injected blood thinners into her pregnant belly, and the baby was later born healthy, as we see on the photograph. But debt piled up and didn't go away when the vaccines arrived and part-time work returned. Paying rent and other bills is a monthly struggle now. Beginning in July, Boyles can pay some of those with $300 monthly checks she'll receive from the federal government. For the first time in U.S. history, the government will pay all low-income and most middle-class parents a significant monthly allowance for each child, an idea that is decades old and popular in Europe, but required a 20-year lift in Congress. This is exciting to me. This is on the fringes of Universal Basic Income, UBI, which I do believe is going to become a part of our fabric over the next few years and on, because work and life and economic sustenance has really changed with the advent of technology and our inability as a peoples to keep up with the skills needed for this. So this is, of course, and this is very big in Europe, where it's more civilized. Over here we have, crazy, don't want to change anything Congress, but this is a good step. At the center of this $120 billion social safety net, which is forecast to cut child poverty nearly in half, but could expire after.